What's going on, everybody? This is Jeff. So if you guys can hear me, let me know if you guys can hear. Give me a thumbs up. Also, if you're not getting notifications for these videos, go ahead and um, click that bell so you guys can get notified. But today, we're going to talk about a couple things. But first and foremost, I want to talk about my situation that I've got myself into, showing you a real world use case of how inefficient the financial system and the whole infrastructure that we're currently operating in is needing an overhaul. So, as many of you know, I'm traveling in Southeast Asia right now, right? So, it's also tax season. Well, my tax lady, she had some things come up, so she was running late on her taxes or her ability to do my taxes. Oh, thanks everyone who's let me know what time is it where you guys are at. I don't even know what time it is, but let me get back to my story. So uh she finally files my taxes, and she had some medical issues, so I was like, all right, I'll just send a check. But I was trying to go on the IRS website. The IRS website would only allow me to update for 2016. So they only have the 2016. I'm like, I'm trying to file 2017 e-file. But the whole thing, I'm a tech guy. I'm not the most amazing tech guy, but I understand tech. The IRS website for e-filing is like silly. So I had to cut them a check. And I'm like, okay, so I'm like, why is this happening? But when it rains, it pours, right? So my next thing is I've also got a a client who's sending me a payment, international payment from Canada, right? Well, those payments actually didn't go through because one thing was off, the SWIFT number. So Bank of America, they have uh two SWIFT numbers. I gave the wrong SWIFT number. And so it's just so the payments, so what is going to happen to those payments? Those payments got sent out, they're going to get stuck, they're going to get rejected and turned back, and then they're going to have to send them again. So yeah, this is kind of silly how we're dealing with this technology here in tech 2018. We're still dealing with this kind of stuff, and I'm just sitting there, why is this happening to me? And I'm like, well, it's probably because I'm being shown, well, I feel like I'm being shown how inefficient the financial tech and the whole infrastructure from the government on down is really needing overhauled. And that's one of the reasons why I'm sharing this with you guys, is because blockchain is a solution. So is Hashgraph. So, anyways, guys, yeah. What's the most bad thing that can happen to crypto from the G20 next meeting? G20, you're talking about the G20 in Argentina? Well, let's talk about that. I've never even thought about what the worst thing could be that could happen, but I mean, if we just dial in the worst thing that could happen with the G20, well, maybe they follow India, right? So you guys know about India, they banned cryptocurrency. It's crazy because people from India were telling me that the Indian government actually likes blockchain and cryptocurrency. Yeah, smash up the likes. We got 39 likes. Thank you. Um, but yeah, I mean, the whole thing with that is they banned Bitcoin. It's one thing to ban exchanges, but to say that I mean, I'm not even sure. Can you still use OTC? Can you use over the counter BTC in India? But I mean, if the G20 were to straight up get really aggressive from Britain, the US, I mean, that would be pretty catastrophic. Now, John McAfee says they can't stop Bitcoin no matter what they try to do, but that would be like a really aggressive stance from the G20. But taking a step back, you could see how the story that I just told you, I'm showing you a use case of how inefficient the financial technology sector is. I mean, how things are still very cumbersome. I mean, the way it should work is before they even send that payment, instead of sending it to a wrong address, they should at least get some sort of verification that, yes, this is an active account that you're sending to before they let the money get released. Now I've got to spend time calling the banks. They got to use their man hours. So it's just overall inefficient. Um, the upcoming G20 meeting is in June, and they ain't going to ban it for sure. But what else can they do? What regulation can they push us to? I mean, they could limit exchanges. They could call things securities. They could, I mean, it depends on where they want to go, how they want to tax it. I mean, how they want to. I think a classification that would be outside of the. I think certain classifications could possibly affect it. Um, Tron is also big in India. We need a currency for Joe and Mary. I think a coin for the service industry would make that happen. It's 80s of employees in America. Most developed nations are service economies. Yeah, so like, I mean, being in Southeast Asia, some of these places are really behind. I mean, every time every time I pay for something, they want to cut me a receipt, and I got to listen to the. I mean, this is how slow it is. It's like, and you know how I feel about receipts because I talk to you guys about let's create something that does away with receipts. Well, over here, you pay with something in cash, and they still want to print out a receipt, and that printer has to like take its time to print, and it's like kind of irritating. People are asking about my political affiliation. Um, my political affiliation. Now let's keep it on topic here with cryptocurrency, the RBI coin. Yeah, so let's talk about Vitalik. So we've got 39 likes, but it's been stuck on that. I don't know if you guys are hitting like, but I appreciate those 39 who did. So um, good luck buying Bitcoin. Okay, so Coinbase. What do you guys think of what happened with Coinbase? I'm seeing all your comments, but currency exchange Coinbase is launching a new incubator fund for early stage startups, the company announced Thursday. We're going to invest off our balance sheet into cryptocurrency. So I think this is really interesting news, especially considering that Brian Anderson, I think that's his name from Twitter or on Twitter, the CEO of Coinbase, he's he's really Brian Armstrong. I'm sorry. So if you want to keep up to pace on the CEO of Coinbase, follow Brian Armstrong on Twitter. But he stays up to date with all. I mean, being that he's a $1 billion CEO of $1 billion company in crypto, I mean he's fairly bullish. You'll get a bullish feeling from this guy. Like I don't know who he knows or who he rubs shoulders with, but uh, Coinbase, I mean, they're a juggernaut. They're powerful, and whether you like them or not, I mean, they're still a big player. And this guy Brian Armstrong, if you go look at his Twitter feed, he's bullish on cryptocurrency. He's talking about Mailchimp, saying that they're going to end up regretting that they banned cryptocurrency ads or companies. So, but the fact that Coinbase is now, uh, you know, launching an incubator fund, that's interesting. And that for me that validates a lot of things about cryptocurrency, especially even if we're in this like bearish market. um let's see, I'm going to answer some questions here, but PayPal on Coinbase in the UK would help. Coinbase needs to calm down on the fees, Jeff. Yeah, Coinbase fees, I mean that, man, that is crazy how much fees they have, huh? So your thoughts on cartel? I mean, I don't, that's that's more of a conspiracy. Yeah, Tron. Okay, so let's talk about that stuff with Tron. Did you guys see that the latest situation with Justin's son? Now, Justin's son, I mean, he's a hard worker, he's a hard charger. Jack Ma's cool. I like Jack Ma and they're friends and all that. But this is kind of going overboard. So Tron right now is a token built on Ethereum. This is what he said. He said, "Why Tron is better than Ethereum?" Okay. So Tron, a token built on the Ethereum blockchain, Vitalik being the one who created this whole dApps thing. So Justin Sun tweeting this, I'm like, okay, like no respect towards Vitalik at all. And he says, he says, uh, 10,000 TPS versus 25 TPS, zero fee versus high fee, consistent coin burn versus no coin burn, Java versus Solidity, strong extensibility versus no X, 1 billion USD developer rewards versus no plan, 100 million users versus small number. And then Vitalik, he responded, and this was Vitalik's response. He said, number 8, because he gave off 8 or 7 reasons. Vitalik says, 8, better white paper writing capability. Control C, Control V, much higher efficiency than keyboard typing new content. So there is a little bit of a Twitter drama happening, and Vitalik, man, that guy, he is not holding short on defending himself and getting in there in the trenches. But I just found it to be very. I mean, Tron has no right to talk smack on Ethereum at all, and I'm invested in both. But I mean, Vitalik, he's basically the engineer behind this to go out and just say that, to just trash Ethereum like that, and have no respect for Vitalik was, I thought it was classless. So, honestly, I mean, you guys aren't even commenting on that. Do you guys even know what I'm talking about? Yeah, I just talked about the India situation. The India situation is, so I mean, my thoughts, I think about it from multiple different areas. I think about it like, so India is a place with a lot of people, like over 1 billion people. Same with China. And I could see how maybe the Chinese government and even the Indian government could could have a little bit of a problem if cryptocurrency were to become like a frenzy in their country and a bunch of people were to acquire a whole bunch of crypto wealth. It could really cause some turmoil to the current infrastructure and the plan there. So kind of slowing it down a little bit. And I'm sure maybe India and China, assuming blockchain continues to pick up adoption, they'll come back in and re-enable it. Yeah, I think Justin Sun is too much hype, but there is a great product. Yeah, I think he's I think he's definitely aggressive. There's no doubt about that. But he I mean, he's called out Mark Zuckerberg, and he's called out now Vitalik and or Ethereum, but he calls out a lot of people. So he's not very shy. Um, Justin Sun to Jack Ma is as much to the principles of the school, nothing more than a customer to a seller. Um, that's right. So Sergeant Crypto basically said Justin is a fraud and Vitalik is a beast. What I guess what he's saying is Justin Sun has done nothing really but talk a big game. Vitalik created what he created. So I mean, I'm not trying to get into the gossip, but I'm saying, like, when it comes down to this particular issue, that's interesting. If you guys want to talk about Craig Wright, because you know that Vitalik and Craig Wright got into it also, we're I mean, Vitalik is probably, I mean, he should be respected, okay? But Craig Wright, he's having issues, or he's having to defend himself here recently. Um, some think Satoshi coming out definitely would be great, that Bitcoin will moon. Sorry, it would wither and die, not 1 million, zero. So Satoshi Nakamoto would be a king. He would hate it. The system would be corrupted, as would he. The way to kill Bitcoin is to crown Satoshi. He is no more. So he's, remember, Craig Wright calls himself Satoshi, but that was his tweet that he posted 5 hours ago. And honestly, when Craig talks, I don't understand his lingo. Like, the way that Craig talks does not, I even try to look at the way he tweets and how the white paper for Bitcoin was written to see if it even makes sense that it would be Craig Wright as Satoshi Nakamoto. That's why they call him Fake Toshi, for those of you who don't know. But it's crazy because there's just so much bickering taking place. I mean, even Charlie Lee gets caught in the crossfire of all these different situations. So you got all the big dogs: Craig Wright, supposedly Satoshi, Vitalik, Justin Sun, Charlie Lee, just just colliding, just colliding. Like, even Roger Ver, right? He gets involved in it. Jolly is projected to be the Bitcoin of the Middle East. Jolly? I've never heard of it. Bitcoin was written by AI. Okay. Satoshi got assassinated by the CIA. Jeff, you ever researched Chain? Yeah, I've looked into Chain a bit. I mean, I think if you guys are invested in Chain, I don't see a problem with it. Let's take a look at Chain and see what's going on with Chain. I currently don't hold a position in Chain. And as I said in my last video, I was waiting to see what the market cap on Chain was before I even considered it. But let's take a look here at Chain. Dash. Ver is a Judas. Credits, dude. Wanchain is. My travels are going well. Thank you for asking me. All right, what is going on here? Wanchain. There we go. See, I mean, if you would have bought Wanchain, if I would have bought Wanchain the day that I made that last video, it was at 349. Now it's at 307. So I think Wanchain probably, along with the market, still has some room to go down. So I'm not in a big hurry to step into Wanchain. And if I miss the boat, then I missed the boat. Just because there's a bunch of hype on something doesn't mean I got to jump in. Gifto's cool. I've actually got a position in Gifto. I think I have to look. Man, I haven't looked at many of my exchanges for a while. I actually quit looking at my exchanges. I just check my or my like I have a wallet, a hardware wallet. I have some coins on exchanges, but I actually stopped looking at all my balances, and now I'm just like I check the app for the price. Superman is done. P3D making him a fool. Superman's cool, man. I mean, he makes a lot. He takes a lot of flack and he keeps going. How can you not respect a person who people hate on consistently, and he still goes out there and doesn't get phased by it? I mean, that's at least respectable. As far as all the other stuff he does, I mean, I don't know. I can't speak for that because that again is conspiracy if I make accusations about something that are unfounded that I don't know about, right? Yeah, so proof of weak hands, when I first heard that, I thought it was a joke. Then I found out it's actually a thing. So people who are getting into proof of weak hands, I'm gonna have to ask you what? um, yeah, it's I thought it was a joke too. Yeah, I don't know about proof of weak hands. The name just doesn't sound very serious. It's like titty coin. Like, would you invest in titty coin? Like, how can I take that serious? Or like, there's a bunch of I've seen some weird coins. Oh, you guys were asking. Supposedly Ember Coin's back in the game. So that's kind of interesting. I've been following them. I mean, I'm not buying any more Ember, but since you guys were like, what is up with Ember Coin? They're back on Coin Market Cap, but they're like, whoa, man, like way down below is what happened there? I mean, what the heck? Terrible. It's terrible. Storic. I don't know about Storic. Um, Yeah, I mean, if proof of weak hands, if you guys like it, then you like it. I personally don't even because of the name, I wouldn't even look into it. Like, I don't even care if it's a game or not. I'm not even interested in it. Vertcoin, Vertcoin, Vertcoin. All right, I'm trying to keep up with you guys. Let's take a look at Vertcoin. $1.81. I mean, it's taken a beating. This has everything that Litecoin has except for a worse name. I mean, Vertcoin's got a worse name. And yeah, whether you want to admit it or not, the name and the logo do make a difference. Vertcoin, why would someone? It's like Grostal coin. That's another one of those coins that have similar tech to Litecoin, but the name is atrocious. So, uh, and I mean, it's going to play a factor. Dubai coin, Dubai coin. If the Middle East, because the Middle East is one of those strict places. I mean, um, Saudi Arabia, Dubai. I mean, but if there was ever a coin that was going to catch on over there, Dubai coin is in place. So that would be like your long-term play with Dubai coin is, will it get adoption? Will the Middle East liberate themselves and become a part of cryptocurrency and blockchain? And if so, who's in position? And I would say Dubai coin is in pretty good position for that, but that would be a long-term hold, and it's probably a high-risk one. That's my thoughts on Dubai coin since you're asking. How low will Bitcoin go? Yeah, that's impossible to project, but I mean, if we just look at if we look at the chart, let's take a look here. Bitcoin. I mean, where do you guys have Bitcoin going? I mean, we posted that on Twitter. You guys, a lot of you guys think Bitcoin's going to go up by the end of the year. The guy from CNBC Africa said he still thinks that Bitcoin will reach 50,000 by the end of the year. Um, like I said before, the strong support is around about uh, $4,000 range. 3,500 to 4,000 is where there's a fairly decent support. That's if it goes that low, which at this point, I'm I'm not going to be too. I mean, it would affect me if it went too low because I would start to get concerned about how low it could go. But at the same time, I would be looking for the opportunity in it. It's like that, what I was talking about, how the situation with the bank, and the SWIFT numbers. Because when you send a wire transfer, for example, you, you need to make sure you got the person's name, the bank's address, the SWIFT code, the account number, and the wire transfer. That's five variables have to be in place. And what I'm saying is if you get one of those five things wrong, that transfer never hits the account. And that's in 2018. That's silly. That's why something like the blockchain or hash graph or some technology needs to come in, because it's unacceptable. Just because billionaires still write checks and don't use email does not mean that the millennials should not be trying to strive to find something that has this more efficient solution, such as cryptocurrency, virtual currency, blockchain. The way that we're dealing with this right now, it's silly. So, I mean, I'm even at a point right now where I'm saying I'm about to start rallying you guys and saying, okay, look, let's let's commission a team here, an exploratory committee, and let's tackle this. Because look, Ripple, something tells me that Ripple's maybe a great solution, but I don't even think they have it yet. And that's why Cardano is kind of an interesting play, is because they're at least kind of taking their time to learn from others using that peer review research. Whereas we're still not even quite there. Like, what we basically need is that one click diversification. It's like, you need to send money to your friend in the UK. You need to send money to your friend in the UK. That transfer, there's no reason why that should not take 5 minutes to just transfer. If the money's still getting lost here in 2018, like this transfer that came in, so they sent the money, it got lost. Now we have to wait for it to get declined so they can send it back. So that's days, that's time lost. I'm saying we've already seen that blockchain can send money within 5 minutes. Okay, maybe even less. But there's still some kinks in that. So I'm saying, why don't we got to do it, like the people investing, these pioneers, because we can. You can do anything, and I'm not just saying that. I mean, I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to. I don't even need to know how to write the code to know how to find people who can write the code to execute on this. Right? Just follow Steve Jobs or Carnegie from the 30s. You know, I mean, we could. I'm sure many of you guys in the audience, if we all came together and put together the perfect coin, I mean, we could talk about how that perfect coin would look. Why would I go to you guys? Well, between you guys, me, and the rest of the community, how much time have we spent researching coins, seeing what we like and don't like about them? Who who better than a bunch of cryptocurrency enthusiasts to create the perfect coin? Yeah, Linda Coin's fast. I'm sure I've never used Linda Coin. I don't even have any Linda Coin, but it was popular at one point. Oh, John Ballou said something funny. That's hilarious. Telcoin, that's cool. Jeff, what do you think about the debate between Samson and Roger? If you watched it, yeah, that's the one where the guy Samson, I forgot the name of he's with some, he's with BTC Core, Bitcoin Core, and I thought Roger, I don't know, I thought Roger Ver won that one. That's kind of, to be honest with you, what do you guys think? Did you think Samson won? I mean, it seemed like even when Roger said, I asked Samson to be respectful and not call it Bcash, and he took back his word. I mean, just even from like the that kind of approach, but in the argument itself, I thought Roger did win that. I mean, what do you guys think? Oh, I keep some of my coins in exchanges, but I don't keep them all in exchanges. Why do you guys make so many assumptions? Some of you guys make assumptions. If someone says something, you assume that it's like a blanket statement. Like, that's I you can't just jump to the conclusion and make a knee jerk reaction and say that I said I keep some coins on exchanges. Yeah, I do. I keep a lot of coins on a hardware wallet. I keep them on various different wallets and some exchanges. I have some coins. I mean, to make an assumption like that, I don't understand why you would do that. Yeah, Roger does get emotional. He's emotional. He's a passionate guy. He's also one of the he's we've heard it a million times. He's one of the first Bitcoin investors, so that's a big time. But Roger was correct, but rage quitting was not good look for Bcash. Yeah, Bitcoin Cash. I'm not saying that Bitcoin Cash is necessarily the solution, but you know, it's do I consider myself overinvested? No, because I'm not over 10% of my net worth invested. So, I mean, if I was like, I know people who have their like no money in their bank, like they have no fiat, they're all in crypto. So that to me is a very ballsy person. They're very courageous. They're brave. Light Pay, yeah, we don't know what happened to Light Pay. Last we heard, the press release is we're no longer proceeding, and that we need to do a better job of making sure that when we roll out a plan that it's we've got the infrastructure in place and it's going to work. And so that's Light Pay. But I mean, even some of these conferences, you guys know that these conferences that were scheduled are getting canceled. ICOs are getting canceled. I mean, the whole climate for the whole market is just it's sour right now. Um, so you're asking me about Ethereum Classic? Yeah, I have some Ethereum Classic. The best time to buy Ethereum Classic was when it was $10. I don't even know what Ethereum Classic's at right now. 13. Okay, so it's back down to where it was back in that was yeah. Neblio. I think it's okay. I think Neblio's all right. So do I have a whole bunch of people from Neblio's community just all of a sudden joining this, or a lot of you guys invested in Neblio? Credits. Eh. That ontology is interesting. I have to look more into that. EOS. All right. Well, smash the likes, guys. That's what Zoom and Game said. Um, Nucleus Vision. Nucleus Vision. Yeah, I mean, I like Genesis Vision. Telcoin is the retirement coin. That's what you guys are saying. We'll see. I mean, it's got a mobile. The mobile component to that is there if it gets accepted and gets adopted. I think just like we started out in this video here, you guys talking about the G20 in June. There's going to be a lot of information that's going to come from that. So I think for me, I'm not even really expecting too much movement from this market. If it happens before then, great. You got New York happening, the consensus happening May 12th through the 14th, and then after that, you got June, July timeframe. You got the G20 information coming out, so that's going to be interesting. It's those are the kind of things that I'm keeping an eye on, but I'm not expecting too much until some of that comes out, and even then, if that's going to move the market, we'll see. So, anyways, guys, thanks to everyone who's liked the video. Thanks to everyone who showed up here. We could talk more about the conventions and the canceled ICOs. We can go into that in more detail on the next video. And thanks to everyone who watched. And see y'all. Thanks, guys.